Hey, I'm Thomas. I have over 200 million long-form views, and today I'm going to be analyzing a attention graph of a Pixlr video and also explaining how you can analyze a attention graph for any channel in any niche. With that being said, let's get into it. So to open it up, go analytics, engagement, you can find the video, the attention graph. I'm gonna leave a template of this in the description, and I'm gonna explain what the types are, blah, 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 everything as we go. So let's get into it.
For every loved TikToker, there is also one that is hated by everyone. Starting with notorious TikTok faker Tix.
Yeah, for intros, the best thing you can do is measure the channel standard. So sometimes, if you see, like, it does say this, like 70% of viewers are still watching, which is typical, but it's not entirely accurate. The main thing I'm going to be paying attention to when I'm analyzing the attention graph is it going up or is it going down? Like the attention itself, blah, 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 not as important because there are variables and it can give you false data. So I'm not gonna worry too much about the intro.
Roses.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
These clips showcasing Emerald's Tourette's immediately gained attention, leading to intrigue from viewers unfamiliar with the syndrome.
Hello.
Yeah, like, can't analyze too much yet. Just still the intro gonna get much more interesting once this tiny stop potentially, and then once it starts getting lower and then the spikes, etc.
Hello. Yeah, so for me, there's quite a few factors that go into if I'm going to have a good tick day or a bad tick day.
Encouraged by the support, Emerald doubled down on the content and even started selling merch. As Emerald gained prominence though, so did the doubts. Aren't ticks the same?
Yeah, so there is some slight slowdown around this point.
That go into if I'm going to have a good tick day or a bad tick day.
Encouraged by the support, Emerald doubled down on the content and even started selling merch. As Emerald gained prominence though, so did the doubts. Aren't ticks the same? Like, hers are so different each time. Following this rising suspicion, Tourette's created
What I'm seeing, so if I do let's say I'm gonna do until 48. So for this, it's also a formula that adjusts what start and then the type is dip, and then just cover it based on is it bad or is it good. 0.24 to 0.46, not entirely accurate, but might as well do it, and then gonna do slower slight drop, or let's do orange and then positive / build up. I think now that I'm looking at it, I do think potentially we could have expanded the initial
immediately gained
Hello.
kind of the build up, because people seem to somewhat enjoy the dip, but then it starts going down.
Content and even started selling merch. As Emerald gained prominence though, so did the doubts. Aren't ticks the same? Like, hers are so different each time. Following this rising suspicion, Tourette's creators like Daps dug deeper.
If this were happening to me and
It's still not bad, but it slows down potentially just because it's somebody else and it's more interesting, kind of putting two people against each other, and we would need to continue
I were
watching.
having such severe ticks while trying to package something, I would not be happy like she is. I would be pissed the fuck off.
This sparked a wave of investigation, leading to the creation of r/Ticks and Roses, where users started compiling evidence, including videos from Emerald's Yarn business channel.
I had never learned to knit or crochet or anything before that because I never had anyone that could teach me.
54 minutes. 3 seconds of Ticks and Roses live stream from Yarn Company. Not one tick. This has to set the record straight. In response, Emerald scrambled to their defense by sharing a medical diagnosis.
So I wanted to show a little bit of my last outpatient consultation.
But this only made matters worse. 27-year-old, very pleasant lady is not how...
Okay, so we have a thingy-majiggy on the team which we call protagonist and antagonist language, and what it means is it says, here we said he scrambled to her defense, which kind of gives it away, but I'm thinking, is it actually bad? Because it's good because it paints it as the villain, it obviously paints it as the villain, but does it kind of kill the drama? I need to look into it. Okay, so I'm gonna do another antagonist language analysis. I'm taking a lot of notes for myself. Just always learning. But the theory is that I'm wondering if we instead said, in her defense, Ticks and Roses submitted a paper to prove all of the doubters wrong. And maybe then it would be oh shit, it's kind of gonna be boom. But instead, if we say scrambled to her, and it just maybe gives away attention, because it's something I've been looking on and off the other channels around like Detective Williams, that this is something we didn't want to do. Didn't want to use the protagonist-antagonist language. Okay, but regardless.
What Doctor writes in a PCR. Now, while this had already dented Emerald's credibility, Emerald would be dealt another blow when a family member stepped forward with the truth. I don't believe Emerald has Tourette's syndrome, and they never showed any symptoms as a child. I don't agree with what they've done. It's incredibly disrespectful.
It's gonna be transition point. People click 149. I also think here the script could have been like some of the jokes.
But this only made matters worse. 27-year-old.
Okay, another note for myself. How to better connect escalating consequence. Nice English. Yeah, what I'm thinking here is we say she did this, but then it got worse, and then it got worse. And I think the way it's done now might not be the most optimal way. And I think it could be done better, but I would need to research into why. I can potentially also like look with AI later on. Actually, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Might as well. How to better connect escalating consequences. Actually, okay, so I have the script, so I'm gonna now look into the part of the including videos. First, let's analyze this. We use antagonist and protagonist language in the script. I do wonder though if it's killing the suspense. I'm just gonna use it's killing the suspense for this line in response for this line. Is it good to keep the downfall continuity and say scrambled their defense and then spoiled this only made matters worse? Or would it be better to say Emerald did X to prove all the haters wrong without giving away it's a weak response or spoiling it made matters worse? Regardless of the answer, when is the best time to use each? When to use antagonist, protagonist language, and when to be impartial to retain more suspense or even mislead the viewer in a good way. Okay, so this is gonna be running. In the meantime, we can continue analyzing the rest.
Very pleasant lady is not how a doctor writes in a PCR. Now, while this had already dented Emerald's credibility, Emerald would be dealt another blow when a family member stepped forward with the truth. I don't believe Emerald has Tourette's syndrome, and they never showed any symptoms as a child. I don't agree with what they've done. It's incredibly disrespectful to fake a mental illness. After this expose, the internet crucified Emerald, forcing them to delete the Tix and Roses account. They never issued a public apology, though, further staining their already tarnished reputation. But while Emerald shamelessly chased online clout through lies, Tony Zhu has become everyone's favorite TikToker by just being his unfiltered self.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's just a transition segment. I don't think there's too much that can be like analyzed or even done here.
This expose should have public aimlessly chased by just being his unfiltered self. Tony Zhu has become everyone's favorite TikTok.
Usually when you look at this, it goes into a question of, okay, so this isn't working as much as I would. And so analyzing the down parts is gonna be always much more hypothetical. It's gonna be, oh, like, hey, what do I assume or like what do I think is the issue than having a conclusion. So like, you know, let's say here I had like the downfall or like the drop, then the protagonist antagonist language is a guess, then we can apply it, we can try it and see does it fix, does it improve in the videos going forward. If yes, perfect. If not, we just continue analyzing until we find the actual issue.
Talker by just being his unfiltered self.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business with a budget, make sure you go to the Source Factory.
This guy is so good that he doesn't pay attention. Attention pays him. This love from the community didn't start right away, however, as 3 years ago when he joined a company called LC Sign, his sales videos rarely had any impact.
I'll show you an LCD.
The early on of the video is alongside the natural loss. When you change a segment, it's kind of like changing a video, which could be good for some people, but also this is where people click off. And so this is natural to happen.
TV. Have you seen the slim of this one? This is an advertising.
237. I can even open them more. 237. 56.2 until 250. Okay, let me put that down. 237 until 250, and that would be a good one. And so what made people interested? So let me briefly look at this. Short answer. Don't spoil the backfire in the setup line. State the action. Usually let the footage comments do damage and deliver the verdict after the beat. Use impartial language for expression evidence. How to phrase that line, choose based on where you are in the arc. Use your setup max suspense. In this point, Emerald released a medical diagnosis. B, show the dog cut reactions, and they change everything. Just not how Emerald hoped. Okay, hope then reversal. Down for chapter bumper when you want momentum, not suspense. POV align. Just set the record state POV aligned. When to use impartial, act one, context, timelines, and receipts. When you introduce a new evidence, let the user first. Add reveals and reversals, end of segments called open payoffs, inside label POV modules. When the evidence already on screen, you're delivering the interpretation. How to preserve versus heighten. Move the evaluation after the evidence, which made it released, show lines, but it backfired. Use open loops. At first, it looked like strong defense. until viewers noticed one line. At first, it looked like a strong defense. Yeah, just the at first. Contest montage, claim, counter clip. Code open. Okay, I do want to expand, so I'm gonna just give it the entire. This is the entire point. Let me first analyze so I can have a guess of what it's gonna say, so I can potentially improve. Starting with notorious TikTok faker text not your name. Go down and we start as a like dabs, like deeper. In response, I'm gonna have to analyze Sunny V2 on this, or like other creators. Analyze Sunny V2. And another thing, I would assume it's the downfall, but I would assume it's in the downfall part. But then I also wonder, if we used the neutral portrayal, would we then still have negative music? The main reason for the good/bad language is to keep the emotion the same, but perhaps that's a bad thing. I need okay, let's continue in the meantime.
Sales videos rarely had any impact.
I'll show you an LCD TV. Have you seen the slim of this one? This is an advertising light box.
Nevertheless, Tony remained committed. Slowly, he began developing his own style, taking inspiration from famous stand-up comedians.
One of my favorite.
237, 250.
Advertising light box.
Nevertheless, Tony remained committed. Slowly, he began developing his own style, taking inspiration from famous stand-up comedians.
One of my favorite. He's Russell Peters. And he's cool doing a lot of accents in his show. So I'm like, one day, I just think, hey, maybe I could do some accents in the video.
Soon his skits
I would assume it's the backstory, which people are intrigued in. Tony giving backstory, talking about unknowns for a known. What I mean by that is, a lot of people know Tony, but not a lot of people know his background. And so maybe that's why it's interesting, because they like him a lot, but they want to know more about him. And so maybe that's something we could have done more, where potentially going into future scripts, if we have some famous people, we can go more into the build-up story, but also I want to make sure it's not too expositionary and boring. So how did we start the point again?
whether it became committed of the impact ago when Jin pays him. This love from the community didn't start right away, however. And pay attention, attention pays him.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business with a budget, make sure you go to the Source Factory.
This guy is so good that he doesn't pay attention, attention pays him. This love from the community didn't start right away, however.
Potentially this could have been way more views to show a better social proof. What I'm thinking, my thesis here is this is natural because it's also like 59, so this is not actually even that much of a drop, so I think this is still a decent hook.
As 3 years ago, when he joined a company called LC Sign, his sales videos rarely had any impact.
I'll show you an LCD TV. Have you seen the slim of this one? This is an advertising light box.
Nevertheless,
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a natural drop, which happens, and then this is a good part, but then we need to look into more, like why after here it starts accelerating until this point.
Tony remained committed. Slowly, he began developing his own style, taking inspiration from
Should have had his rise for longer, because that's the interesting part. This is okay. Keep the video neutral during setup and evidence. Deliver the negative verdict only after viewers see the proof. You can absolutely pan yourself easy. Use the score and editing to the loaded wording. How to handle your specific line pick based on your chapter goal. Max suspense recommended in response, at least. Hope then reversal. Downfall momentum where you want not suspense. Evidence gathering, neutral, let clips and on-screen. End of segment standing points. POV blocks, line level notes. Okay, so okay, we can try that. It would have to be only at the end. Encouraged by the support. Good, then cut the view line and on-screen comment. Subedit. No visible ticks. So what do we have now? Including videos. Yeah, I think we should have. I agree with this, and I saw this in the video myself. Critics noted that there were no visible ticks. Diagnosis beat scrambled with Emerald and got the S on screen. Emerald to address the criticism. Family member. Yeah, I do agree with this, because this is something we've been dealing with a lot on the crime channel, because it kills the suspense, and I do think that the antagonist-protagonist language should probably be used more so at the end of the segment, not at the middle. Consequences. Attention code open. Language, impartial verbs reserved loaded for the verdict lines that quoted POV. Replace haters, replace modern with an on-screen. So when is protagonist/antagonist language superior? But okay, let's continue.
famous stand-up comedians.
One of my favorite, he's Russell Peters.
Yeah, we watch this.
One day, I just think, hey, maybe I could do some accents in the video.
Soon his skits, whether in an Indian accent,
It is not easy. Just like making an LED sign like this.
Mexican,
And recommend the most suitable style for you. I say,
or even Donald Trump's voice,
China, China, China. Get your LED sign with factory price in China.
resulting in steady business success.
We made a growth from 5 to 10% in total. And to me, that's actually pretty good.
His charisma even caught the attention of Western creators like iShowSpeed,
Tony, oh my God. So this free? Are you what? So like what? Are you charging me? Yeah. After we reach. Yeah. It's kidding. It's on the house.
That is like a stable chart because it's talking about the same thing, and so it's a natural setup, and I don't want to overanalyze. So this you wouldn't worry about too much. But then this gets interesting.
We made a growth from 5 to 10% in total. And to me, that's actually pretty good.
his charisma even caught the attention of Western creators like iShowSpeed,
Tony, oh my God. So this free?
In 326, this is get interesting here. 326 until, it's gonna be a long one. I don't want to do all of this, but it would be like until 414. Gonna also be sustained plus. I think, okay, so speed is gonna play some part.
Are you what? So like what? Are you charging me? Yeah. After we reach. Yeah. It's kidding. It's on the house. On the house. On the house? Yeah, for you, man. Thank you, Tony, my boy.
Following this interaction with one of the biggest streamers, the global media started to cover him as well.
Oh, this is still Tony, okay.
And he was even hailed as a marketing genius, making Tony's stock reach new heights. But while this success also came with some backlash for bullying minorities with his content, Tony clapped back in his classic fashion.
You're bullying somebody, I don't really care. But if someday, like, somebody tell me, Tony, this is boring, this is not funny, then I'm offended. I would probably care, you know? So the whole point, I think, is about creating interesting contents.
Then, you're bullying the minorities. Tony, exactly. I love this guy. This idea has been used by Tony to poke fun at many controversial TikTokers, including infamous rage baiter Lily Tino.
I was wondering if there's a man.
Okay, so this was still all Tony, so it was like the aftermath part. If I look in the script, it was the following this interaction. Okay, so the rise we did quite well, so we did expand on it. I think, like, yeah, overall this segment was good, right? It started at here, 57.4. I mean, there's still a 5% drop, which is not ideal. This is also, okay, this is nice. Okay, it gets better now.
With one of the biggest streamers, making bullying minorities with his content, Tony clapped back in his classic.
I would assume, like, my hypothesis here is it's flat, relatively like a sustained plus, because we are speaking, like, again, talking about an unknown part of the story. It's like more drama introduced plus showing something new. I don't think what we included was shown like on too many channels before, or like even it was kind of like also like a vulnerable moment of the main character where just he's not in character and he's like sharing his honest thoughts.
Fashion.
You're bullying somebody, I would probably care, you know? So the whole point, I think, is about creating interesting contents.
Then, you're bullying the fun Tino.
I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir.
The satisfying downfall began at a cheesecake factory in 2023 when Lily uploaded a confrontation with a woman seemingly harassing them.
4:39 until 5:03. 4:39, 5:03. Before I get into that, let's go into this. You're at a turning point after the evidence has seen. You need fast clarity and stakes. When complexity is confusion, polar framing orients viewers quickly. Example, prefer introducing evidence or new claims. We can pay it off here. How to apply? Okay, so in the end, it should be like, so if we're talking in percentages, how much of it should be? Up until now, we were using it as much as possible, but it seems like it should actually be used very sparingly. I'm gonna see it just not using a faster model. Okay, so using it mostly after the payoff. So in this case, immediately leading to intrigue from viewers unfamiliar as Emerald. Following this rising suspicion, Tourette creators like Dabs dug deeper. Is potentially dug deeper to spoiling? Following this rising suspicion, Tourette creators like Dabs dug deeper. It also like depends, right? Because this is kind of a hated story, so it's obvious on one hand. Like Dabs dug deeper. This is good, like this is impartial. But yeah, I think here this should not have been because it's shedding it before. And then also like, yeah, same here with the truth. Like it should always still be making sure we always show first and then label, because then it's spoiling it. Okay, I think it goes like just, I discussed this previously with one of the writers, but I think the takeaway I would say here is use protagonist and antagonist language while still adhering to the show then label, because you are confirming their beliefs. And finally, like always, a practical tip to apply this. Yes, more colors. Brown for claims and labels, and blue for proofs. In this case, brown should almost never appear before blue. If it does, you need to change it. Because I think the issue here, it's good it's keeping the progression, but I think we are often spoiling what happens to, like this is good. This is good here, we can go like antagonist language, like crucified. But I think, yeah, here it's just spoiling it because we say too early. In this same point, how would you best recommend connecting the downfall events? Like the Jan video into the public medical report into the sister comes out with truth. It's often much easier to go but and therefore, but how do you successfully connect the and thens without making them feel like and thens? So 439,503. Okay, so that was it gets.
I'd like to see you try.
Even though the video initially earned Lily waves of support, many sharp-eyed viewers noticed something strange. The video...
Yeah, this is good. This is already like, this is following what we just spoke about, where it's saying, even though the video initially, but interaction, so this is like an open loop, so it's like, oh, something's gonna be up. And then many sharp-eyed viewers noticed something strange. It's still not antagonist language, but it's kind of giving it in a good way because it's mystery inducing. It's like, what's strange? Like, what did they notice? And like, I want to know what is happening. Potentially, we should have shown some of the video here instead of just going immediately into the comment. So it would be the same as here, where it is clip into a comment without any connection. I think the clip to comment connections aren't often too good. They should mostly be elaborative, so it should be giving important context that the viewer otherwise wouldn't have. But if it doesn't need to be, I think it should be cut. So here we should have played the video. So I think we should have done like deleted this, instead play video and then have this. Yeah, this potentially could have been deleted. Okay, this would need to be reworded, right? Because now it's kind of making it obvious, because this is kind of, well, this had already dented, and it's kind of giving it obvious that it's going to be continuing the downfall and not giving the chance. Well, this had already dented Emerald's credibility. Would be dealt another blow. Dented. Okay, let's go. Use consequences, change the chronology. Each beat should change the question, raise the stakes. Evidence, don't encourage testimony that's natural of credibility and stakes. Question which X days which forces Y. After X, the debate moves from A prompting Y. Pressure response. Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. One thing with AI, which is super important, when you do use it, make sure to think what it says, if it makes sense. But here, what I'm thinking is like the pressure response, or like a larger loop, attempted closure. And so it could be, yeah, okay, this is good. Instead of this, it should have been, but something like, but this. Okay, I'm gonna, in the meantime, ask. Okay, great. So how would you reword this so it matches what you said and makes a good connection? In the meantime, I'm gonna try to do it myself. Like something unbeknownst, I don't know, this is shit. Beknownst to Emerald, however, this is still spoiling a bit. This medical report only opened even more questions, and soon even her sister and even her alleged sister chimed in with her POV. Like something like this, because now, yeah, it just feels like it's kind of giving a but without a and then. This is great. This is a good progress. With the medical and scrutiny, yeah, proximity escalation. With the medical and the scrutiny, attention shifted to those who know Emerald longest, rather than posted alleging no childhood symptoms. As the paper drew questions, the debate moved from documents to people. And this is shit. With the documentation disputed, the question became who could verify Emerald's story. From clips to paper. Okay, all of these are shit, but they are in the right direction. Yeah, I like alleged because it's misleading in a good way. I like the basis, but I think all of these feel a bit too rough / forced. Can we try more smooth variations that follow the script language up until then? In the meantime, I can also read the rest. Plug and play for the section. Okay, this Bridge. That reframed the question from Arthur takes real to why absent here. Diagnosis: under that pressure, Emerald published a medical editor satellite, but one line drew more scrutiny than clarity. With paper disputed, the battleground shifted from documents to people. Verdict: connective toolkit uses one casualty. As a result, in response, consequently, the pressure led to escalation, raising the stakes. Contrast, however, proximity shift. Days later, soon after. Structural pattern you can use. What changed, why it matters, who acts next. Outcome: pacing and editing, language, keep setup lines if you must use. And yeah, like this sounds more natural. Since the document, the letter didn't said, yeah, this is also like better with its more open nature. The medical letter failed to quiet critics when the letter spoke about what the situation escalated further. Yeah, I don't hate these. What I'm looking for is a vibe along the lines of, because she released a fake document, her sister wanted to do the right thing and set the situation got a lot more spotlight, even reaching her sister, who felt the need to do the right thing and settle the score based on her knowledge. This is the core concept I would like to get with the script, but this version is shit/lengthy. But you can see here how long into the video we are, and we haven't made like much in the analysis, but how much information you can get from so little. I watched like 5 minutes of the video, not even like 4 minutes, and I'm like just able to completely break it down and go in depth. Like just thinking is so underrated. Yeah, like this is nice. Yeah, I like this one the most, if anything. But it'll be the controversy over that amplified attention on Emerald enough to reach a family member who decided to speak up. And then we can also do something with the alleged, who decided to speak up about their alleged experience. I like this addition because I think it makes it more suspenseful, because it adds more like, oh, so is it real, is it not real, and kind of makes you question instead of like being definitive. But yeah, like I just spent 10 minutes or what just on rewriting a single line. Just so much value in the attention analysis. Okay, let's continue. And this one I think is not something that could be analyzed too much. I'm gonna add always but and therefore it with. So my answer to how do I use more but and therefore was use more but and therefore. Nice. Plug and play. Bridge formulas. Just some examples. I also can share it with the writers. Oh, they are gonna hate me so bad. Oh, they are gonna hate me so much. Fuck. Okay, let's continue.
It was cut, so before he started recording, something else must have happened that made the woman feel the need to say something. Since that moment, Lily would lean harder into conflict, with the content slowly shifting from food reviews to instances of getting misgendered.
The person who gave me this called me sir. Just like, it kind of just hurts a lot to get caught.
Yeah, for this part, I think this is just great neutral language. Keeps the suspense high. The drop here, 5:03 until 5:15. It's a super minor drop, and so it's not even like worth analyzing too much, but I might as well. Might spark a new idea.
Called sir.
These displays of entitlement started upsetting the community. But instead of stepping back, Lily took things to a more
just like, it kind of just
lean harder into conflict, with the content slowly shifting from food reviews to instances of getting misgendered.
The person who gave me this called me.
Okay, I think this is just spoiling what happened, so it should have just not been said. I would assume what should have been done here is to something else. Yeah, maybe not something else because it might be too vague, but I think the misgender, it was obvious in the clip, or the clip maybe shouldn't just have been played. Is it also, we even cut this clip, I believe.
Sir, just like, it kind of just hurts a lot to get called sir.
These displays of...
Yeah, we did even cut it, but I think it just could be something else. But these displays of entitlement started upsetting the community. This is good because it's like still following the show, so like this shows what is happening, and this is labeling it. Okay, that makes sense. I think I'm gonna end it here. Just don't want to get it too long, but hopefully if this was valuable, like the few snippets. Again, for this, like you saw the process. I'm very likely gonna do this much more often because it's kind of like infinite goldmine of just like having the data at hand, then being able to analyze it, draw conclusions, and then share it with the entire team and you guys. So yeah, by the way, I'm hiring writers, editors, creative directors, anybody, if you're interested, link below. And yep, take care. Take care.